Whew. So this is my last trail cam video for the year. Unless one goes down or somebody wants to send me one, I'll review for you. This is going to be my comparison video of the 3 cellular trail cameras that I own. One is the Stealthcam WXV. The next is the Cuddeback Cuddelink Dual Link K camera. And then the last is the Spypoint Link Dark camera. Made this little chart here, and we're basically gonna score up this chart, but this isn't my best work, so we're just gonna go ahead and digitize this. So as far as the specs go, basically I really shouldn't be rating this because everybody advertises great specs and so on, but I'm gonna rate it anyway. The reason I bought these cameras were based on the specs, so therefore I'm gonna rate the specs, and then later on I guess we'll figure out how well those specs hold up. So I got Stealthcam, Cuddeback, and Spypoint. We're just going to go in that order every single time. But the Stealthcam was the one I was really excited about because when I was looking at the specs, the main thing that I noticed that no other camera had at the moment I noticed was able to transmit videos to your phone. The specs on the trail camera I had rated at a 5, 22 megapixels, sent video to your phone, sent photos to your phone. And I've had stealth cams before and I really like those cameras, so I was really excited when I heard that they were going to have a Verizon cellular trail camera. The next up is the Cuddeback, and it's another camera I was really excited about having because you're able to expand this camera, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But the specs are pretty good. I think it's 18 to 20 megapixels. It takes HD videos, but it just sends the photos to your phone. You get a photo and then it takes the pictures, and then you can also get movies as well. So when I came to the Cuddeback and the specs, it got me really excited, but it wasn't everything that I wanted. So I'm gonna give it a 4. And then when it comes to Spypoint, it's the same thing. It does HD video, sends pictures to your app, and it had a lot of features. It uses Verizon or AT&T, so I was excited about that. They were the first one I actually seen that used Verizon. So with their specs, I would give it a 4. We're moving on to the setup now. With the setup for the Stealthcam, it was miserable. I did not like the setup. It took me a long time. You had to create accounts on the app on your computer, and then you had to put all that information into the camera, which took forever. There is an easier way to do this, and it seems like they would have done it somewhat that way. So the setup, I'm giving them a 1. The setup was horrible. It took me way too long. Moving on to the Cuddeback. Cuddeback was the same way. It was not easy. You had to make an account on the computer. And then once you got the account set up, you pretty much did everything else from the camera. For Cuddeback users, this is actually probably wouldn't be that bad of a setup because you guys know the cameras and so on. For non-Cuddeback users, which I am, it was horrible. I did not like setting this camera up. It took way too long. I'm going to give it a 2 only because if you are a Cuddeback user, you probably will be able to get this taken care of pretty easy. Spypoint was the easiest setup out of all 3 cameras, and I believe it was the easiest setup I've ever had. You download the app, open the app, create an account, and then there's a barcode in the battery pack, and you scan it with the app, and 20 minutes later your camera's working. It was that simple. It was literally that simple. Hands down, the setup for the Spypoint is a 5. Plans and price. So we're going to start with the price of the camera. Stealthcam, $199. The plans are pretty good, but the way that their plan is set up, it's set up on data usage, so it's kind of misleading because basically if it says 600, it's 600 in the lowest resolution. But I don't want to look at pictures in the lowest resolution. I want to be able to tell with deer in the woods. I want to be able to see better pictures. So when I use the highest resolution, it really is probably cutting that 600 pictures into 300 pictures or 200 pictures. It's a little misleading, but they are decently inexpensive. I mean, for the plan I have way too many pictures, and I think it's 20 bucks a month. Without having an unlimited plan and the way that they label it, like I said, the misleading of the way they label it, I don't really like that. I'm going to give the plan a score of 3. For the Cuddeback, it's going to have a little bit of an asterisk in this plan, and it's also going to have a spoiler alert for something coming up. But the Cuddeback's plan is pretty good. Now you can start the plan at $10 and it goes up to $40. And it's $40 for unlimited pictures, which is the most expensive plan out of all the companies. But here's the asterisk. You can hook up multiple cameras to this one cellular camera and get pictures from all those cameras sent to this camera and then sent to your email, and from there it's still the same price. 600 pictures from this camera and 6 other cameras, and it's $40. When it comes to the plan, Cuddeback has the best plan you can get. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. It's not perfect. So the other thing too I want to make sure that people understand is with this plan, if you bought the cellular trail camera, put it on one farm, and then drove 20 miles away and bought a second cellular camera and put it on that farm, you're going to have to pay for both those cameras. Their system has, it's basically all the cameras on one farm that work with this camera will be sent on one plan. If you want to do that again on another farm with 6 other cameras and then a cellular camera, you're going to be paying again. So it's not perfect. It's pretty darn close. So 4.5 stars for the plan. Now this camera here was $199. It will not work. It won't even save pictures to your SD card if you don't have a cellular package. So it's $199 plus at least $10 a month for the cellular package. This Spypoint is also going to have an asterisk because the camera that I'm reviewing is the $349, $399 Spypoint Link Dark. And it's the same camera that I was trying to compare with, but what happened was, I don't know what happened. I have a Spypoint Link W, and that was the one I was going to use to compare to these other 2 cameras because they're in the same price range. Something ate my antenna. It's gone. It just was gone one day. It wasn't laying around. I'm pretty sure a raccoon or a squirrel just took it off. So I don't get pictures from that anymore. Therefore, I decided not to use it for this comparison. But it still works. It takes pictures. It just doesn't send them to my app anymore. So therefore, I'm going up to the Spypoint, which is quite a bit more money. But the only difference between the Link W and the Link Dark is there's a screen on the front of the Link Dark, and you can view the pictures from the camera. The Spypoint plans, they have a basic, standard, and a premium. And for the first month, you actually get the premium for free. So you get 30 days of usage out of the premium. So basically all the features that you want. You can track deer, you can change the settings, you can do all types of different things, and it's free. If you decide to pay for the premium, it's $15 a month. So that's unlimited pictures. With the plan how it is, but not being able to connect it with other cameras, I gave it a 4. While you're looking at me like, dude, you only gave the Stealthcam a 3 and it has the same plan. Kinda. With them giving that 1 month free, I mean, you get to try the camera and see if you like it. Make sure it works where you are, etc. And that bumps it up to a 4 to me. So the next item on the agenda is multi-camera use. So this Stealthcam, you can't hook other cameras to it, but what you can do is you can put other cameras on your plan. So you can actually view multiple cameras within the app that are on your property or properties. You could mark them all over the place, but they're not going to be on the same plan. Therefore, if you're spending $20 per camera, you're talking 40, 60, 80, whatever amount of dollars you plan on spending depending on how many cameras you have. I'm giving it 2 stars because you can't hook up multiple cameras to the app, but you're going to be paying for it. Multi-cameras on the Cuddeback, the way that it works is they have other cameras that work with this camera. Once you get them set together, they're going to transmit photos to this cellular camera, which is like the mother camera, and then from there all those images are going to be sent to your email. You're only paying that 1 fee for the 1 cellular camera. You still got to buy the other cameras though. For multi-camera use, Cuddeback, hands down, it's easily a 4. Now for the Spypoint and multi-cameras, it's the same as the Stealthcam. You know, you can put other cameras in the app, so you can look at multiple cameras through the app, but at the same time, you're going to be paying for each individual camera. Therefore, that's down to a 2. Now, battery usage. Pretty much all these need asterisks. Pretty much all have external batteries for them. But I've changed the batteries in every single one of these as well. I'll tell you right now, all 3 of them are 3.5. The battery usage on cellular cameras suck. If you don't have external batteries, you're going to be out in the field and defeating the purpose of what a cellular trail camera is for anyway. Buy the external battery packs. I'd put them in a 3.5 just because they can all connect to some kind of outside source of battery power. Picture quality. Now we're going to do 2 options here. During the day and during the night. So Stealthcam during the day, it's a 4. 22 megapixel, very high quality, very good detail. At night, I don't have a whole lot of pictures, but it's really not as good as I thought. I don't feel like the infrared goes as far as what I'm used to. So for daytime, I got it a 4, and then night, I'm going down to a 3. Pictures are still good, but they're just not as good as the daytime images. Are just really, really good. As far as the Cuddeback goes, the daytime images, I was really unimpressed, to be honest. I thought they were going to be a lot better just because it's a Cuddeback. I mean, for years I just was always told Cuddeback's the best. So the picture quality, I'm going to have to go during the day as a 3. I don't find it to be very, I don't know, there's just something about it that doesn't impress me. There's not a whole lot of detail in the images. You can tell what, you can see what you need to see in order to scout. But other than that, like, I just did not find the image quality that great. Pictures were dark, they're really contrasty. I got a 3 during the day. At night, horrible. I'm sorry, but they are just very bad pictures. Really grainy, loss of most of the detail. Infrared does not go very far whatsoever. So I got that down to a 2. For the Spypoint, I thought that the daytime pictures are pretty good. You can see a lot of detail off in the distance. You can see, a lot of detail up close. They're not quite as good as the Stealthcam though. I got the daytime pictures at 3.5. When it comes to the night pictures, I don't think there's a better camera than this camera that I have right now. It's really bright. The details in the deer, in the animals, even when it's not deer, I mean, you can see what it is at all times. The picture quality at night is hands down, in this camera, is a 5 to me. It's very, very good pictures. Movie quality, and for this one I'm also doing night and day, but with the Stealthcam, unfortunately, it falls in the same category. So with this camera, the way it works is if you have your cellular service on, it doesn't save 2 separate movies. So when you have it in movie mode, it'll send you a movie, and it's really low quality. It's hard to tell any details. Like I did get a video and it was a buck. I could tell it was a buck, but I could barely tell it was a buck. I couldn't tell which buck it was. I just know it was a buck. When movie mode is on, that's the only movie you get. They don't save a HD movie to the trail camera. Now you can turn your cellular service off and it will record HD videos to the SD card. This is a cellular camera review. It's not just a regular trail camera review. So therefore, me losing the option of being able to see videos and then see the better quality video, that I put it down to a 2.5. And I know they have really good video quality, but unfortunately it's just not showing up when you have the cellular mode on, and I'm always going to have the cellular mode on. Now, for the Cuddeback, I didn't see a lot of good quality in the video during the day. I mean, I could tell that the deer was coming in, but the deer looked really blurry. I don't know if it's 1080, but it looks like it's 720. It kind of looks 480. But the movie quality, I did not find good. I rated it at 3. I didn't find it very good. Then at night, it even got worse. So it was very grainy, very distorted, really noisy. So I put that at 1. Night quality movies, a 1. So when it comes to the Spypoint, movie quality, I put them at a 4. I thought that the movie quality was really good. Plus, it'll take a movie and a picture at the same. So it takes a picture first, then it takes the movie. It sends that picture to the app, and then you're able to view that picture. Now you have to get the videos out of the card. They don't send you any kind of videos or whatnot. But that movie quality is full HD. And then for the night, it's the same thing. There's something about their LEDs or whatever they use, the infrared LEDs. They really project out into the field so that you can see. I have deer coming in, they're probably 70 feet away, and I know what buck it is. So it's really good quality. So I'll give that a 4. It's not perfect, but it is a 4 for night video. So card size is important to me because we have a deer camp, it's 11 hours away. We have another property that's 3.5 hours away. So if I'm not there for a long time, I want a bigger card that I can put more and more files on over time. So card size for the Stealthcam is 64 gigabyte. I gave it a 5. The other thing too is with the Stealthcam is they don't save those temporary files that they send to the app. They get rid of them. So you're not wasting space on that card with those temporary files. Cuddeback says it can take up to a 32 gigabyte card. I cannot get a 32 gigabyte card to work. And I tried 2 different 32 gigabyte cards, so it wasn't the card. I got a 16 gigabyte card working, but since it says that it's supposed to be 32 and it doesn't work, I went down to a 2. Now the Spypoint, it says that it takes 32. It does take 32. That's pretty much all I really need to say about that. So I give it a 3 out of 5. For the reliability on this camera should probably have an asterisk by it as well. Because the Stealthcam and the Cuddeback I've only had for 3 weeks. Therefore, I don't know if it's been enough time to have any problems. I haven't had any problems with them. They've been working perfectly fine. I gave them both 4s for now. You guys watch this video and then I have a video later on where I'm saying I have a problem with them, then you guys can make your own score out of it. But for now, they're 4s. I gave Stealthcam a 4, Cuddeback a 4, because I haven't had any problems whatsoever. Spypoint I've had for a year. I've had problems with it. It's not perfect. It's not flawed. I have had problems with the Spypoint, and it'll just be weird. It'll just stop working. So I'll need to go out, restart it. It'll have full battery. You know, the card will be 50%, 30%, whatever, and it just stops for no reason. I don't know if it goes too long without getting signal sent to it or whatnot, but it'll just stop working. So I'm going to give it a 3. Like I said, there's an asterisk on this, so I'm not going to say that the Stealthcam and the Cuddeback are going to be better. I'm just saying right now I haven't had any problems. So side note, when I put the Spypoint up in the UP, it was up there for 2.5 months. And the only reason it stopped working is because the 12 volt came unplugged and the batteries eventually died like 3 days before we went up there. So it was up there for 2.5 months working on one set of batteries in a solar panel that eventually came unplugged. And then after that is when I started having problems. So the app for the Stealthcam is really good. It was a little bit different than what I was used to. At first I didn't like it, but now that I've been using it for a while and I know how to get through it and find different things, I really like it. I'm gonna give it a 4. There's a couple things I would like to see on it. There's a lot of things you can do with this camera, with the app. Now, for the Cuddeback, they don't have an app. You do everything through Gmail. Or, let me rephrase that. You do everything through email. They recommend Gmail. An app is really important to me. So therefore, this gets a big fat 0. Now, as far as the Spypoint goes, the Spypoint, you can set up a new camera with it. You can run multiple cameras on it. You can see photos on it. You can change the settings in your camera. It does pretty much everything you need it to do. The only thing it doesn't do is get videos. I'm going to give this 4.5 out of 5. It's pretty much does everything you need to do. We're talking about computers. I don't really use this much on my computer. I have gotten on a couple times, but I rarely ever get on the computer to view pictures. So for the Stealthcam, unfortunately, you can't view the pictures on the computer unless you have some kind of Google Drive set up. I should have got on there and set it up just so I could show you guys. I did not do that. It has in the app something about Google Drive, so I assume that you can set up a Google Drive account, which is basically just your Gmail account, to get the pictures and have them stored in the Google Drive. That's fine, but it's just a bunch of steps I don't want it to take. I'd rather just go to their website, pull up my account, and be able to view all the pictures that are on the app. So therefore, I gave it a 2. Now, as far as the Cuddeback goes, it's the same thing. It doesn't have a website dedicated to your account and pictures or anything like that. They do tell you up front, it says, you know, you're going to get these pictures emailed to you. They want you to set up a Google Drive. So you can get on there, you can find these pictures, see that they're organized, do all that stuff. It's just not with their service. It's just you're using a third-party service. But I'm going to give it a 3 because they tell you up front that this is how it's going to be. And then Spypoint goes, it's literally their website is myspypoint.com. It's the exact same as the app. Everything you can do on the computer, you can do on the app. Everything you can do on the app, you can do on the computer. It's the exact same thing, just a bigger screen. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Last one, user experience. So this is kind of a combination of a couple different things, but it starts with the setup. The setup on the Stealthcam sucks. Then getting on the app, you know, the app is pretty good and you can control things with it. The user experience is pretty good. Setting up the camera in the field, once you got it all dialed in or whatever, simple. You put it on the tree, put it on the post, whatever you want to do, turn it on, it's connected. So user experience, I have it a 3.5. You know, if the setup wasn't as bad, I would have it at a higher score. But the setup was so bad, I have it at a 3.5. Now, for the Cuddeback, I gave it a big whopping 2, man. Sorry. No app. The setup was horrible. The Google Drive thing isn't that bad. You know, getting emails, it kind of makes me look forward to getting emails. All I get is junk mail anymore. So I don't have to explain myself. You've heard me rant enough already. Now, for the Spypoint. For the user experience, the setup was a 5. The app is a 4.5. The computer is a 4.5. Being able to change everything I need to with my phone or the computer, it has everything you need in those 2 areas. The computer and the app, they're exactly the same thing. So the user experience Everything's very self-explained. You want a photo? Hit photo. You want a video? You hit video. It's not a bunch of weird text or anything like that. It's very simple. So therefore, it should be like a 4.95 or something like that, 4.85, something like that, but we're just gonna go with a 4.5. Now looking back and looking at this little chart thing I made, it looks like Spypoint is definitely gonna come out on top. Stealthcam comes in a little bit second there, and then Cuddeback. And the Cuddeback has so much potential, it's just so far from where it needs to be, unfortunately. Now, I had Moultrie a couple years ago, and Moultrie was a lot like the Spypoint. You could use the app, and then when you go to their website, it was pretty much the app on a website. So it was really good too, but I didn't want to put this in here because it's been 2 years since I had one, and I just didn't want to be trying to guess and remember what I used to do. If I was going to buy another name brand, the Moultrie would be the next one. When I had it, they had a modem, and then you had a camera. So it was a little bit difficult because you're connecting those two together. And if you couldn't get them to read each other, it was a pain in the butt. Now they have a cellular trail camera that's all in one. So I'm excited to see how well it does. I like to play with that. For now, I got 3 different brands, and Spypoint is the winner of the 3. Everybody watching isn't going to care about everything on here. You know, pick the areas that you find that are going to be most important to you, and then this is what I've discovered. This is what I believe. These are the way the scores line up to me. So, you know, if you like a camera and you want a multi-camera system, obviously Cuddeback is going to be the choice. If you just want a camera that's easy to set up and then it has an app, you know, Spypoint is going to be the choice. Anyway, that's my thoughts. That's my comparison. I hope that I answered some of your guys' questions. I hope that this made sense to you guys. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know. I'll try to answer them the best I can. Like I said, I'm not an expert in any of this stuff. I'm not an expert in any of these reviews I do. Now, I'm not an expert in any of these cameras, but I have used them enough that I might be able to answer your question. And then another thing I want to make sure everybody knows, I'm not sponsored by Stealthcam, Cuddeback, or Spypoint. So this is just an honest, non-biased review. Hopefully it helps some of you guys out. Thanks for watching. Comment down below. Hit that like button. Subscribe. I gotta go.